Good afternoon, Southwest Florida. You are tuning in to Divine Destiny Radio Show. I'm your host, Lady J.
Co-host Trella,
and it's your co-host Angie B. What's up, everybody?
Well, we have a great show lined up for you guys today. We have been talking about natural hair for quite some time, and we have Miss Rochelle Graham of Black Onyx World, and with us today, she's also a representative of Alikay Hair Naturals. Right? Okay, and so also we have Miss Tanya Flowers, and Miss Tanya, you guys probably know her. She loves us. We just gonna make her come on in and sit in with us forever. We want to define what it is that we're talking about. We're gonna define hair, Afro textured hair, and also going natural.
Okay, hair is composed mainly of the protein keratin. Keratin assembles into rope-like intermediate filaments. The structure of these filaments provides strength to the hair shaft. Afro-textured hair is a term used to refer to the typical texture of black African hair that has not been altered by hot combs, flat irons, or chemicals by perming, relaxing, or straightening. Now, the term going natural is used by many African American women who decide to stop chemically processing or relaxing their hair. It's a move that can be fraught with confusion. All right. Confusion, missteps, and sometimes pain. So in order to dispel all of that, that is why we are coming to you guys today with natural hair guru and Miss Tanya Flowers, so we can help squash some of that for you.
Miss Angie, can you read Psalms 139 and 14? We like to put a scripture with whatever it is that we're doing, and this is, I've actually seen this on several natural hair sites, so it's definitely appropriate.
Well, praise the Lord. That was the only thing that really came up in my spirit. It is Psalms chapter 139 verse 14, and it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well.
Amen.
Like I know.
That's right.
I know that I know because of who you have made me to be.
That's right.
That your works are awesome. So,
that's right. That's
amen.
Right. Amen. Well, that was the New International Version. Read the New Living Translation, because I love that one too.
Okay, this one says, thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it.
One thing I want to read real quick before we jump right in and let our first guest speak is I found this little on a blog. It said many women with Afro textured hair have not seen it in its unadulterated state since childhood, and even some who are acquainted with the texture of their untreated tresses are not comfortable styling the hair in ways they believe are fashionable and appropriate for them. Figuring out which of the countless hair care tools and products on the market might work can make the undertaking even more overwhelming. Tired of expensive, time-consuming salon visits, many would-be naturals are searching YouTube for inspiration, instruction, and other people who have made peace with their kinks and curls. So in that, we want to introduce to you Miss Rochelle Graham of Black Onyx World.
Okay. Alright, hello everyone. My name is Rochelle, Black Onyx 77 from YouTube. Thank you ladies for having me on today's show. I'm very excited about the opportunity to speak about natural hair. Of course, it means the world to me. Just for a little bit, for people who are not familiar with who I am, I started initially on YouTube approximately 4 years ago, before natural hair was really on the scene on YouTube. I initially went natural in 2008, I believe. I just had a phase. I woke up, my husband was like, you know, admiring my mom's teeny weeny afro and saying, wow, you know, can your hair look like that? I was like, of course it can. So while he was sleeping the next day, I had micro braids in my hair, went into the bathroom, and I cut it off. And I was left with about an inch of hair. He woke up, he woke up, he was like, oh my gosh, you really did it. I'm like, yeah.
You're like, there it is, baby.
Exactly. It's like, take it or leave it. So he loved it, and I was then left to say, okay, you know, now what? Like, how do I take care of this? What do I do? I had nowhere to turn. I had no one else to look to. I initially logged on to a website back in the day called Fotki, where a lot of naturals were just sharing pictures of our hair. From then, I decided, okay, I want to start doing some videos on hair to share with people, and that's how I started my YouTube channel. YouTube has been absolutely amazing. I've been able to share techniques, you know, my mistakes along the way, from my first big chop to my second big chop that I had to do a year later when I damaged my hair with color by coloring 6 times within 1 year. From there, I pretty much branched out to started doing making jewelry and accessories on my website, and people saw it on YouTube, they wanted to purchase it. Then I started Naimani Chic Jewelry. Even though I had cute accessories, that still didn't affect the fact that I could not find products that were going to do what they needed to do for my hair to keep my hair naturally healthy. So that prompted me to, of course, start my own beauty product line, which is Alikay Natural products. My grandmother, of course, who's from Jamaica, is a herbal doctor, so I spoke to her a lot and kind of adapted a lot of the products and ingredients that she used into making this new product line. But I started using my products, you know, started taking care of my hair. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and that's what YouTube allowed me to be able to share with people, you know, what to do, what not to do, how to treat your hair, how to style it, and that's, you know, pretty much been my avenue for sharing those experiences. But I've been natural now, I believe, for, I think it's now 4 or 5 years. Please mind, disregard my calculations, because I've big chopped twice and I'm going to big chop again soon. So it's not really, for me, it's not really about the length of my hair, because I know that my hair can grow, you know, super duper fast. My hair has been 9, 10, 11 inches before, and I'm like, okay, gonna chop it off again, start over. So it's been an amazing journey since I've been natural.
And what I love is I love the confidence in that, you know, and the confidence. And I think that's hard for a lot of women is, you know, I know some women that I've actually, one lady in particular, she stands out so much that I met years and years ago. And we were talking about hair one day, and she had really long hair, an African-American lady. And you can tell that it was, everything to her was in her hair. You know, we were talking about haircuts, because I used to cut my hair all the time, and she was like, why do you always cut your hair? Let it grow, let it grow. You know, and she was like, you know, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I wouldn't be me without this hair. You know, the length, not hair period, the length, you know, of this hair. So when I hear, you know, so much confidence in you, and the thing is, when you know you can be beautiful, long or short, no matter where it is, you know, that's an awesome thing. Yeah,
I do, I mean, going off of what you stated, I do believe that that's one of the things that people experience, especially if you do a big chop, and you big chop with like 1 inch or 2 of hair. It pretty much throws you into the world, and you have to say, okay, you know, you can no longer hide behind your hair, you can no longer hide behind length. Now you have to show the world who you are. And sometimes, you know, it also puts you in a position where you look at yourself in the mirror now, and you're like, okay, who am I? Like, you don't even know who you are, because you were always that chick with that long, straight, you know, gorgeous hair flowing down your back. It's like, you know, aside from that, now that that's gone, you have to now define yourself as a woman, and, you know, the way you define yourself is an amazing journey. So that's another, you know, part of it.
Ooh, I'm loving her. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is awesome. And one thing I love too is that you were saying about your grandmother.
Yes.
You see how good God is?
Yes.
He was already putting stuff in the plan already for you. How you have to go back to grandma and, you know, get that good consultation for somebody who's been doing it, and to bring it back natural. Because this is something, even when your husband waking, you know, your husband asking you about the short hair. Yeah. You know, all those things were steps to get you where you are today. Exactly. God, he was orchestrating stuff before you were even born.
Yes. Honestly, for me, it's not, I'm not stuck on my hair. I know my hair is long. My hair will grow. I've cut my hair several times, so it's not about the length for me either. But for me, my hair is super thick when it's not permed, and it's so hard to maintain.
Well, she's the one to talk to, because I've seen her hair on the website, and that hair is thick. My God.
So
it's a lot. So that's my issue. It's not about the whole natural thing. More power to y'all, but until I get there,
I can't talk. I'm undercover now. People like, how they gonna have a natural hair on? They got weeds and all kind of stuff going on. And I'm like, it's all good, you know, because when you're comfortable in your skin, you know, and you know, even my husband, I'm like, how would you feel if I just, you know, he was like, no matter, I've changed my hair so many different times since we've been married in 10 years, and he's just like, whatever you do, you know, you're a beautiful woman, you look beautiful to me, your face is beautiful, your personality is beautiful, I don't care what you do to your hair. Is that they're afraid of, especially if you don't have a spouse. Yes. You know, it's one thing when let me have this consultation with Daddy and see what he says, but when you don't have someone and you desire to have someone, you know, and especially if you've been getting compliments all your life about this, your hair, and, you know, to chop it off and start over, it's like, oh, and then to be nappy, you know, on top of that. You're like, okay, you know, that's like a whole other thing. It's like, okay, because then it's like, okay, you know, things will change because different people are attracted to different things. Right. You know, some men like the long, straight, luxurious, and some men, you know, you'll be amazed at what they would like. And, you know, my son, he's an advocate. You know, I had one that likes the long, you know, the hair, and the other one is like, I like it kinky, keep it real. So I'm like, okay. Okay, we have a call on the line with a question for Miss Rochelle. China?
Yes.
Okay, what is your question?
I was wondering how often do I need to trim my hair? Because I know, like, I have my afro out now, and sometimes when I go to wrap it at night or just put my bonnet on, that it looks like the ends are real dead. So I was wondering how often should I trim my ends?
Hello, China. Thank you for your question. One of the things that I think it's important to understand about natural hair, it's before when we had relaxers, we used to have to get our hair trimmed on a certain schedule, like specifically, you know, every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks, every relaxer. But that was because the chemicals were damaging our hair so much that you had to get rid of those damaged ends in order to keep your hair healthy. Now, as a natural, it's like a totally different ballgame when it comes to trimming your hair. You trim when you feel like you need a trim, but don't get trim happy, because otherwise you're going to end up with a teeny weeny afro forever. What I suggest is a couple techniques on how you can trim your hair. You can either trim your hair when you do your 2-strand twist, because you know when you're twisting your hair, you get to the end and you have like this little strand left. That's when you know, okay, it's time to trim your hair. Or if you haven't done a trim in about 6 months and you want to check to see if you need a trim, you can do a blowout and check your hair that way. You know, that'll be able to show you your ends and have a better understanding of what your hair ends actually look like. I know what you're talking about when you're putting on your bonnet at night and you wake up with your hair ends all frizzled. That might just mean that you need like a deep conditioner treatment to soften your hair a little bit. They're called single strand knots pretty much. We all get them, no matter how pretty our natural hair is. You're going to start getting them more if you wear your hair in like a wash and go, where you wear your hair in a natural texture, because that allows the hair to actually curl upon itself and form those knots. So what you should also do is kind of give your hair like a break in between. Try doing some like dry hair twist outs or braid outs to allow the hair to stretch a little bit so it's not tangling on itself. But definitely I think doing like a deep conditioner treatment and taking your finger, if you have patience, and rubbing your the knots between your fingers is going to allow them to loosen up a little bit. Now if this keeps continuously happening, then go ahead and try one of the trim techniques that I discussed earlier to see if that solves your problem.
All right, thank you so much. And I just want you to know, like, you are the reason I actually went natural, and I love your station on YouTube. And thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome, Diva. Thank you.
I got chills. And girl, I needed that same question.
Have a good day, guys.
But right now, I know Miss Flowers, before we go to the next step, there was something that she wanted to read. She has this book. I'm not sure. What is the book entitled? She was showing it to me.
Denise Nichols' beauty book. Yeah. Now, just so I can explain, this is a book that I had a long time ago. It was published in 1971, which is probably long before you were born.
I was born that year.
Okay. But now I was a preteen, and this is a book that I lived by because it was the only black beauty book published back then. And in the introduction, Denise Nichols, she says, while growing up in Detroit several years ago, I had certain experiences which at the time didn't seem terribly important or significant, but they must have had an impact on me because I remember them so clearly. I remember the way some of my friends would spend Saturday afternoon at the movies watching Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe, or some other Hollywood beauty symbol. They would rush home and try to make themselves into something they thought they wanted to be by straightening their hair, using bleach on their skin, and applying makeup not made for skin colors. Wow. They were ashamed of their looks because the standard of beauty in this country did not include the way they looked. I remember refusing membership in certain Negro social clubs that accepted me but rejected my darker and Afro-featured friends. The effects the white beauty standard has had on us are disgusting. It has us practicing discrimination against ourselves and one another.
Wow.
Well, we have to come to our senses and into our own. We have developed pride in our blackness and our standard of beauty.